What's up guys, it is Chris back with another video. Today we're doing a triple unboxing. Rock the Watch channel here on YouTube sent me 3 of his watches to take a look at, and I really appreciate it. He has a great channel where he does unboxings and reviews of watches. Check out his channel. It is Rock the Watch. I will put a link in the description below. Very good friend of the channel, and as I mentioned, he sent these 3 watches for me to take a look at, and all because of 2 reasons really. One, I said I was interested in checking out an Islander watch. That was before Mark actually from Long Island Watches lent me an Islander for review, so he sent me over this as well so that I could take a look at it. I actually featured this watch, and I'll just show you right away what watch this is. That is the SKX version of the Islander. And you can see it has that blue bezel with the sapphire crystal and the white dial, which is just really a very powerful, really good looking combination. And then he also sent me 2 Invicta Pro Divers. These are watches that are kind of controversial, I guess you could say. I did a video on Invicta in general, and I did that video after I saw a Pro Diver, that 1953 Pro Diver that they made. It's sort of a homage to Rolex and Tudor. It's a very good looking watch, and it's very reasonably priced, as most Pro Divers are. They get a lot of haters, and I'm not one of those haters. I've never owned an Invicta. However, like I said, that 1953 might be the first Invicta that I decide to purchase. Although right now they're completely sold out, so you can't find them anywhere. So let's look at what was sent over. So the Invicta box is somewhat, I guess it's like it's made with like a pleather, some sort of synthetic leather, and the inside is like a synthetic suede. This one has the bracelet off of it because it came on a Barton strap, or at least that's what Rock the Watch has it. Matt at Rock the Watch has it on. Again, really good channel. Definitely check out his channel. And here is the Invicta. It has like a green and black colorway. He put a green Barton strap on here. I love Barton strap. These are the ones with the curved ends on the rubber strap. They're slightly textured, really nice strap. I really love them. As I mentioned, here is the Islander. This is just a really great watch for $299, and I think that Matt told me that he paid something really low on these watches. I think it was under $100 for each of them. But getting right into why I don't really understand why Invicta do certain things. The price tag, the hang tag on this watch right here is $995. I believe he said he paid under $100. I've seen this specific watch sell for around $60. It has an NH35. It's obviously a Rolex homage. It has a Jubilee bracelet, which is actually, you know, on the same level as probably the SKX bracelet, that Jubilee that you get on the SKX. It's not incredibly well made, but it's not terrible either. You know, it's all pressed, the clasp, and there is hollow links, center links down the middle. They are polished. You have pressed links on the pressed end links. The case itself feels like, you know, a solid piece of metal. Let's listen to the bezel action. Honestly, bezel is pretty good. A little tight, but sounds really good. And let's see if it lines up. There is no chapter ring, so there's really not a ton that it needs to, and it lines up. And you know, the NH35 under here is decorated with an orange rotor. It looks kind of cheesy, I will say. But let's throw it on my wrist. The one thing I really don't like is this big Invicta engraved on the side. I really do not like that. I don't know if the 1953 has that. So I did not size these for my wrist, but it just fits me. So I have the exact same wrist size as Rock the Watch. So he has a 7.5-inch wrist, just about. And it, you know, listen, these feel good on your wrist. This actually, I would say, it looks really good. The color of the bezel is not my favorite. The Pepsi color here, just that it has like a very vibrant blue and a very vibrant red, and then there's silver lettering, which is kind of like a little bit of a mirror polish or mirror finish on it. Not a huge fan of that. But again, when you're considering getting an automatic watch that's 200 meters water resistant, you get screwed in crown. I believe the crown is signed. I'll take a look right now. And, you know, you're getting, what is a stylish watch, I will say. It's not, you know, yeah, you get a signed crown. It's not an incredibly made watch. It doesn't feel bad, but for under $100, there isn't a lot of watches out there that you can get for under $100 with an NH35. You just have to say that. It's a really good watch for the money. And I like a Jubilee, and I don't mind a cheap Jubilee, as I've mentioned, because of the SKX. You get, you know, micro adjust here, a signed clasp, and then here it is in the green and black colorway. Again, not a fan of the bezel. Let's hear the bezel action. I think this is the exact same watch. The bezel's a little bit looser on this. I'm not sure why that is. I find them a little bit hard to grip, only because it's fully polished and the teeth aren't that grippy. But again, for under $100, I keep on saying that. And again, you have that same rotor here, which is decorated with that yellow Invicta color. I'm not a fan of that. I'll throw this one on my wrist. And this actually feels pretty decent for the price. Not on the bracelet. The bracelet is a cheap part of the watch, but then again, you could say that about a lot of Seikos. So, you know, you get pressed elements. The finishing on the bracelet is, you know, not incredible, but there you go. This looks a lot better, I think. Again, I don't like that Invicta engraved on the side. There's a lot of lettering on the actual dial itself. It says automatic, professional, 200 meters, and then it says water resistant. Don't really need all that. A little bit too glossy, a little bit too vibrant on the colors of the bezel. But you do get applied indices. I don't like the double sign. I say this with a lot of different watches. You have Invicta at the 12 o'clock. You have a logo, which is applied, and then it says Invicta, and then there is an Invicta logo on the counterweight of the second hand. I do not like that. I don't know why brands even do that. Some people go crazy about having a magnified date. That's you could take it or leave it. I don't mind it. I think it looks good. In general, I mean, you know, for, like I said, for under $100, this is a pretty good watch. If I could get that 1953, I like the aesthetic better than these watches. And not that these watches aren't good looking. I think they are. They are definitely pretty much Submariner homages that they've, you know, done a couple of tweaks on. Which I would say is mostly the bezels, where they've done some crazy colors, and then the hands are a little bit different. Well, mostly the second hand. You have very small applied indices. I think the dial looks pretty good. It's a glossy dial on both of these. Both of these are black dials. These are pretty much exactly the same watches, just in different colorways. You know, honestly, I would wear an Invicta if I found the right Invicta, and I think that 1953 might be the right one, but obviously, like I said, you can't get one now anyway. And there are crazy different prices that I've seen. I've seen them selling for on eBay for like $300, which makes absolutely no sense. And then I see them selling for on HSN or in other areas when you do a search for them. On an Invicta website, they had them for around $78 or $68, which for me, that would be the price to get it at. It comes on an Oyster bracelet, and I think they look pretty good. Now, coming to this watch right here. Now, I already featured this watch in a review or slash, I guess you could call it a review comparison to my SBDC 061. One of my favorite watches in my collection. It's what inspired me to start doing videos, and I gotta say, this watch really has a lot of the specs and features, quality-wise, fit, finish, of that watch. Maybe not finish completely, obviously, because the SBDC 061 has really good finishing on the case and bracelet. This has good finishing on the case and bracelet, especially when you're considering it's $299. A few areas where this actually excels, except for movement, because the SBDC 061 gets a 6R15, and that is a better movement than the NH36 in here. You get a sapphire bezel, very similar bezel action. You have a lumed bezel, and then, you know, you're getting a screwed link bracelet, and the bracelet is very, very solid. Is it as nice as the SBDC061? No, I cannot say that it is. However, I mean, they're close, and for the price of the SBDC061, you're getting a lot of watch that is almost as good as the SBDC061 for a fraction of the cost. Literally, in some cases, it costs about 30% of what the SBDC061 costs on the gray market, and if you wanted to buy it in a store, it's $1,100 for that watch, and this comes in at $300 directly from Mark's website. I'm very impressed overall with their watches, and this is a very impressive watch. I really like it. You get a sign crown. Again, you don't get a sign crown on the Seiko, the SKX, or the SBDC061. I sort of got into a discussion with a YouTuber and a listener, Christopher and Amin, the Amin Reviews, his YouTube channel. Definitely check him out. He has a bunch of really awesome watches on his channel. And we got into a discussion between why the SKX is sort of an iconic watch, and when watches like the Islander or homage watches, they seem like a very good value, but when you consider brand and you consider history, how they sort of equal out, in my opinion. So if you don't care about brand or history, this watch is a better watch than the SKX. The SKX has a very long history of diving, and they are an iconic watch. When you're wearing an SKX, you're wearing something that is time proven. What Long Island Watch has done is basically copied that and made their own version of it. You have to always consider that when you're looking at a watch. So these are homage watches. Essentially, all three of them are. However, are they improving or not improving on the original? I think in the Invicta case, no, but in the Long Island Watches, yes, they are definitely improving on the formula. But one thing that these brands can't do is create history, and so if you're someone who considers that, like I do, it's somewhat important. I do, to a point. Now, would I own an Islander watch? Absolutely. Would I own an Invicta? Yes. Like I said, I've found an Invicta that I would own, that 1953. Would I choose an Invicta over something like that Invicta over a Rolex? No, but considering the price, yes. All things being considered, if this watch was the exact same price as the SKX and the SKX was actually available, would I choose it over the SKX? Probably not. I probably would go with the SKX, and I'd probably also buy one of these just because I collect watches. I love watches. I want to have a bunch of watches, and that's the type of person I am. But the SKX isn't available, so I think this is a really good viable option for someone who wants an SKX. Would I buy this over a 5KX? Absolutely. The 5KX is not as good of a watch as this, and when you're talking about history and brand, really only brand comes into play there, because the history behind the watch, there isn't any. The 5KX is just as new as this. So I would go with this over the 5KX. Before I forget, I am going to do a very quick lume shot, just so you guys could see the lume on these watches. Obviously, the Islander is going to be the best, I would imagine, because they put some amazing lume. I don't know how the lume is on Invictus, so we will take a look right now. Well, there you can see that the Islander is very, very bright. The Invictas aren't so bright. As you can see, they have just a little bit of lume on those indices. Those indices aren't very big. A little bit of lume on that plop at the 12 o'clock on the bezel. And then on the hands, you have a Mercedes hand for the hour, and then a lumed minute hand. It's not incredible lume. It's not going to blow you away. Again, these come in at around $100, $60. For the $1,000 asking price, I think that would be absolutely ridiculous. But here is a $299 watch, and you can see the lume on here is fantastic. The entire bezel is lumed, the dial is lumed, the logo is lumed, the hands are lumed. It loomed very well and very bright. Yeah, so the lume on here, I think we already knew would be very good on the Islander, and somewhat disappointing on the Invictas. But considering price, they're even considering price against something like the Islander, these are still considered cheap. but the Islander is a little bit more straightforward, $299 versus saying, you know, hey, this is a $1,000 watch and we're selling it to you for $299. They're a little bit more straightforward, and you know, I appreciate that. Anyway, tell me what you think about that in all that I've just discussed in the description below, in the comments below. I really want to hear from you guys. It's super important, and I really like getting feedback. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel. Please also follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog. Please also follow Rock the Watch. Follow his YouTube channel. Like I said, he reviews watches like this. If you enjoy this content, you will enjoy his content as well. He is a funny guy, and he has a really good channel. Amin Reviews, also really great guy. We're going to be collaborating soon, hopefully, and we'll probably get something together as soon as we can. And thank you for logging on, and I will catch you guys in the next video.